back again. I'm totally not recording this at, like, late in the night. What were we doing again? Oh, yeah. I did post these on all my other socials. Let me break it down for you guys. Here I have Shadow the Hedgehog, the ultimate life form. This is what I wanted to start out with because I wanted to go with the theme of Sonic counterparts, which is going to make sense when you see the other two that I have next after Shadow. I started with a motorcycle helmet because, come on, he rides motorcycles, but also I wanted to avoid things that other, designs of Shadow fall into with just the leather coat with a fur collar, and he's a motorcycle guy. I wanted that to be clear, but I also wanted to take more into account that he's a secretive government project. He's very mysterious. I honestly kind of wanted him to look kind of scary, albeit cool. A very dark, mysterious character. I also wanted him to be the complete opposite of Sonic. A lot more uptight, more practical, as practical as you can get with me taking the rule of cool very seriously here. But I really wanted to avoid the kind of just biker boy look. Also, I wanted to take more inspiration from his role in Sonic Adventure 2, so him having a gun badge and a gun assigned service pistol, which I think works better with his design than Shadow just using guns normally as a hedgehog, but that's a whole other conversation. I also made his shoes into boots, but I didn't want to change them too much because I think most Sonic shoes look fairly wearable and adaptable into a human design. But I really wanted to focus on this specific aspect of making him dangerous, mysterious, and still making him look cool. His turtleneck, my color choices here were obviously copying the fur chest thing, but I wanted it to actually kind of puff out a little bit with his shirt rather than just giving him a fur collar. And I also work on his human design here. If you saw it pop up on the screen, I did actually take Sonic's side profile because while I didn't want them to be identical in skin, hair, and all that stuff, they're supposed to be opposites. I wanted them to have this uncanny resemblance regardless of that fact, which makes them complete opposites while also looking very similar. So that's basically everything that I wanted to cover when looking over this design, and I think I did a pretty good job of, understanding what I wanted to do with Shadow as a character. So we have his two versions here, starting with his helmeted version. Colors, nice and simple. Gray, red, black, and white. I think I did a great job here with making Shadow look mysterious and cool, and also a direct opposition to my Sonic design. So here's him without his helmet. As you can see, you can focus on the way that their side profiles look a little bit easier here. So I think I did a pretty good job on that, on making this very, I wouldn't say pro-authority Shadow, but just in terms of looks. Now moving on to the second one. Yes, I may have bamboozled you by making you think I was going to do Team Dark, but as I mentioned before, I had a very different theme going on here. So I wanted to do Blaze because technically she's the dimensional counterpart for Sonic, but it's not really a direct thing like Shadow is, but it's definitely something I wanted to explore. She's actually the favorite design that I had of any. She's my favorite, to be exact, when it came to what I did with this design. I took a ton of inspiration from different cultures here, and this is the weird thing about Blaze specifically. As you can see, I popped up references of her background, where she comes from, the clothes that she wears, and all of it kind of becomes this weird mix of cultures, because the thing is about Blaze's design is that her cat-like design, I completely forgot the name. Yes, I did research, but it's on my board here, as you can see. It's based off of South American mythology, if I'm correct, but her clothes are Japanese-inspired, but her where she lives at, her palace is definitely, the soul dimension is very oceanic, but it's also based on Persian culture, so I just went with my preference, what I thought would mesh well with her color, and I was like, I think her being a darker skinned woman was the best way to go about this, making her just Persian or some sort of South Asian. It doesn't really matter. She's from a fictional dimension, but that's kind of how I perceived her. And I think her outfit translates perfectly into a human design, but I also wanted to add some flair with extra jewelry and, extra tufts and hair on her shoulders and stuff, so it's a little bit more balanced in terms of the colors. I also changed her pants, so like the bodysuit, it's more purple, and her pants kind of break down into the little fur cuffs you see around her ankles. I wanted to make her pants white to have the full color scheme match up, but I realized I'm taking liberties anyway by giving her a sash, which you can also see in the reference image. Regardless, though, I had a lot of fun making her design, and I think I was able to change things to kind of give this nice flair. You can see here that I actually wanted to do some interesting things with her jewelry and stuff like that. Have I already said that? Yes, you did. Anyway, there's not really much to say here. I think she was one of the designs that just kind of came easily to me, and it was just really fun to work through. But speaking back on some other things that I wanted to mention, her hair. This was one that I honestly, despite me liking this design so much, I think I could have done a much better job of finding a more authentic hairstyle, or just one that was cool. I did want to replicate silhouettes when designing each and every single Sonic character, but I feel like I don't know, some people might disagree, because I did want all of her fur and her hair and everything to represent fire, so you could kind of get that vibe, despite her having little red and oranges in her design. But that's her design in full. I think I could have did a much, much better job. Despite me liking this one so much, I'm a little hypercritical. But I like her hair silhouette because it does give the fire thing, and it kind of looks like her cat ears and stuff. And, her little ponytail. Regardless, though, I think I did a fairly alright job designing Blaze, and regardless, she was cool to design and just think of. Very, very fun. I love that I was able to kind of represent things about her character that you wouldn't really see anywhere else. So, yep. Now it is time for my boy Silver the Hedgehog. This one was also a lot of fun to do in so many ways, despite, again, being another design that came pretty easily to me, because I had a very clear vision, and I think there's also very few archetypes and designs that his character fits into, and he's a little bit odd in the sense that he wouldn't wear normal clothes, at least in my head, just based on his backstory. And again, I'm kind of basing a lot of these designs on when the characters were introduced here, so I was highly focusing on Silver as this mysterious character from the future who comes from a weird future. I think maybe I could have made his clothes a little bit more torn. I did add little rips and things and such here, but I wanted him to look very odd and mysterious, and obviously he comes from the future. I added some pouches and stuff and a little watch around his neck that indicates that he has something to do with time, despite despite his design and powers being based around telekinesis. Regardless, though, I had a lot of fun kind of making him, again, this weird third archetype in terms of the hedgehogs, where he's very odd and out of place, but still very cool. Now, as it comes for his physical appearance, I made the decision to make him albino, which I think works very well, mainly because of the fact that I can get closer to his nickname of Silver. All the other characters have general nicknames, but I'm like, why would they call this guy Silver? And I could see them doing that with his weird powers and his albinism. And it also gave me the chance to make his hair a certain color without just resorting to hair dye. And yes, I could have just made him light-skinned, but I think I made his design a lot more striking when making him albino. Also, as you saw before, I added a cloak version, which I thought was pretty cool overall, and I'm very satisfied with the design, and I think I did a good job of representing everything I wanted to with Silver. He was very fun to do, very much an oddball out of the set of characters that I did, but yeah, I think I did a pretty good job. So this is all three of the designs back to back. Let me know how you guys feel, what you might want to see next. I actually do know what I'm going to do next, as I currently got into a certain game series, and I would love to start reviewing them, and obviously having some artwork attached as a bonus. Regardless of that, let me know what you would like to see, as I just mentioned, and have a good one. Also, make sure to follow me on all my socials. I am now active on Tumblr and Blue Sky, and I'm the most active on TikTok, and I've gotten some traction there. So if you want to support me and see more works in progress and just some other doodles that I might post that I might not cover on the channel, go ahead and follow me over there, and I will be waiting. That sounds kind of creepy. And as always, remember to hug a friend, read a book, please, drink copious amounts of water, rage bait somebody, please do something productive.